are used when the variables are depicting the quantitative values. We will initialize our search with scatter plots. For this purpose, let us import the required modules with the assigned data. Talking about data, we have marks scored based on the hours studied along with the associated board and gender of the student. Scatter plots are majorly read to understand the relationship between quantitative variables. Few famous examples for scatter plots are amount of sleep needed per day by age and temperature versus ice cream sales on a particular day. One of the ways to construct a scatter plot is by using sns.scatterplot and inside parentheses specifying the axis values for x and y. Also mention the source from which we are generating the column and the data values. Let us spice it up by adding hue parameter in form of gender. We are able to fetch marks based on hours studied and also looked at the gender part. This gave us a clear distinction between males and females, how they are scoring their marks. Now, just because it's a dummy example and we have synthetically came up with this data, we are having very less observations. But that's not the case that will happen in a real life project. In that case, you will be having thousands, maybe millions of observations. In order to take care of that part, this is not enough. It would be better if we can demarcate males and females within a kind of subplots, and we can do that by using not sns.scatterplot but by using sns.relplot. Relplot over here stands for relational plot. It majorly comprises of all the quantitative kind of graphs that we want to come up with. Just for this particular reason, we need to use kind parameter and inside specify a particular graph that we are looking for. Let's execute this, and ultimately we are able to figure it out that we are getting a proper distinction between males and females. Now moving ahead with line plot. In order to understand line plot, we have taken data from Yahoo Finance, and just to get a flavor, we are using an external API by name YFinance, because of which we are able to import the data. So first and foremost, we need to import this particular library, and in order to import, we need to install it. So process to install any of the external libraries is by using pip install followed by name of the library. Post importing the library, we can import it in the current session. So to use it in the current session after installation, we can just be using the standard procedure. Ultimately, we are trying to take data from pharmaceutical industry since lot has happened after COVID. So we wanted to see how Indian pharmaceutical giant by name Bicon share prices have moved in last 8 months. We have taken data on daily basis, and this is where we are having data. Ultimately, rather than making it too shabby, we have just calculated monthly average of the data. Therefore, we are having 8 observations where we have calculated average. Lastly, we are also using rel plot in this situation as well. Ultimately, to use it, we have changed the kind parameter from scatter to line. Let us execute it and see what is the output. We can observe that the prices have shot up from 280 Indian rupees to 420 Indian rupees in last 8 months. So if you have been investing into pharmaceutical industries, you have made a lot of money.